Hello, my most amazing 2G artists. This week in our art history video, we are going to look again at the unicorn tapestries. So you might remember this from last week's video. We are going to talk a little bit more about weaving today, but let's review what we already know. This was called Unicorn in Captivity. Say that with me. Ready? Unicorn in Captivity. It was one of 7 different tapestries showing the mythological creature of the unicorn and showing an adventure with some people by a castle and a hunt, and they were hunting for this magical unicorn. Now, if you remember, a unicorn has one single horn coming out the top of its head. I love how on this unicorn, the artist made that horn really long. I think it's so dramatic to be that long. Also, remember that I said that this fence probably wouldn't contain this unicorn if he really wanted to get away. So maybe he was becoming more of like a trusted pet at this point. Now, I also want to see if you can remember when we talked about the Book of Kells, another medieval or Middle Ages work of art. And in the Book of Kells, we talked about how detailed the artists were. In fact, I'll show you. Remember this picture? I showed you this wonderful, detailed, illuminated letter. And there was so much little tiny artistic detail. What about that matches this work of art? I'm going to zoom in a little closer here. Look at all the detail. There must be thousands of flowers in the background of this work of art. The detail, I think, is something to just be inspired by. A few of my students at school were inspired by the detail, and when they were making their illuminated manuscript letters, they did lots of detail too. Wow, look at that one. That one was done by Campbell, if you know her. This one was done by Audrey. She did some great pattern there too with pink, blue, pink, and added some gold. And this one was done by Jeremiah. Jeremiah did some great pattern and fantastic detail. So I'm glad you were inspired. Now we're going to be continuing our project of the circle loom, and I want to teach you a little bit more about weaving in our art history video before you watch my video about the project. All right, here we go. The first picture I want to show you is I just wanted to remind you that weaving has been around for thousands of years. If you notice this picture right here, you'll see that basket weaving was a way that early humans used fibers from plants to make the first threads, and the oldest baskets that have been found are from 27,000 BC in Europe. And so these have been around for a long time. And weaving a basket has the same kind of basic idea as weaving a tapestry, only it gets much more complicated. Let's take a look at this picture. This one right here is a loom that would be similar to the looms used in the Middle Ages to weave those amazing tapestries. Wow, there's lots of different threads going up and down and side to side. Let's make it a little more simple. The next thing I was going to show you was an upright loom. Now on this loom, you can see that an artist has sketched out a picture of some flowers or leaves. The threads that go up and down, the vertical threads, are called warp threads, and they stay in place. Those are stationary, they don't move. Then the artist takes other thread and goes back and forth in a horizontal way, and the artist would go in and out, like up and down, back and forth, weaving in and out the weft thread across, and then changing colors every time they needed to change colors to get the right pattern. So you would just cut off a thread, tie on a new color, and get that exactly where you wanted it. So I want you to learn those two words. They both start with W, so it can be a little tricky. Let's review. The ones that go up and down, the ones that stay stationary, they don't move, those are called the warp threads. What are they called? Yeah. The one that goes across and that is woven in and out and in and out, that is called the weft thread. What's that one called? Awesome. Okay, now we are going to look at this kind of a loom because this is the kind we're going to use. Now, this one has warp threads also, but they don't just go up and down because it's not a square shape or a rectangle. It's a circle shape. So the threads here that you see, the purple threads that go across the plate in all these directions, those are the warp threads. They will stay stationary. They won't move. Then we will pick up a different color and we will start weaving at the middle. We'll go in and out and in and out, and we'll weave in a circle and we'll go back and forth over and under, and that thread will be called the weft thread because it's the one that we're weaving in and out and it's making the colorful pattern. All right, so those are the things I wanted you to learn about weaving before we do our project video for this week. All right, see you next time.